Hello everyone. In the last lecture, we have started the third unit, which is combinatorics. In that last lecture, we have seen the points, the basics of the counting, sum rule, product rule, and the introduction part of the pigeonhole principle. Now, in this lecture, we will see the corollary of the pigeonhole principle and the generalized pigeonhole principle and its different examples. So before going into detail of the corollary and the generalized pigeonhole principle, I'm going to take a quick revision of the pigeonhole principle. Okay, now let's see here. In the last lecture, we have seen all the introduction about the pigeonhole principle. Suppose that there are the 10 pigeons and there are 9 pigeonholes. In the evening, each pigeon will pick one of the pigeonholes to stay. Then what will happen? Means there are the 10 pigeons are there and only 9 pigeonholes are only 9. So what will happen? So see here, one possible scenario is like this way. Means here one of the pigeonholes has 2 pigeons. Okay. So there are many other situations, but in any situation it can be concluded or it can be said in one of the pigeonholes there will be at least 2 pigeons. Understood? So by using this introduction part, we can say that the theorem of the pigeonhole principle will be like this way. If k is a positive integer and k plus 1 or the more objects are placed into the k boxes, then there is at least one box containing 2 or more of the objects. Okay. So k is a positive integer, k plus 1 or more objects are placed into the k boxes. Means here objects are pigeons and boxes are the pigeonholes. So here pigeons means objects. Objects are, here count is 10 and k is the boxes. Boxes means pigeonholes and count is the 9. So how we can solve this problem? At least one box containing 2 or more objects means at least one box means at least one pigeonhole contains 2 or more objects means 2 or more pigeons. Understood? Next. So see here this the proof of this theorem, pigeonhole principle theorem. So how we can prove this theorem? On the contrary, assume that or suppose that this proposition is false. Then we have the two cases here. Case that k plus 1 objects are placed into the k boxes and no boxes contain 2 or more objects. So from the second statement, we can say that or it follows that the total number of the objects is at most k. Obviously, total number of objects is at most k because each box has 0 or 1 objects. Each box has 0 or 1 objects means no box contain 2 or more objects. But this is a contradiction means this is a false because in our theorem there are at least k plus 1 objects. So like this way we can prove our theorem pigeonhole principle. Next, see here the corollary of the pigeonhole principle. The pigeonhole principle can be used to prove a useful corollary about the functions. What is that corollary? A function f from a set with k plus 1 or the more elements to a set with k elements is not one-to-one. So see here in this corollary, the function f is from a set. That set contains k plus 1 or more elements to a set with k elements. So condition is that is not one-to-one. So one-to-one function means in the functions in the previous lecture about the function regarding function, we have seen that different types of the functions, one-to-one function, onto function, one-to-one onto functions. Okay. So what is that one-to-one function? One-to-one function means one-to-one correspondence. No two or more objects are mapped to the single or individual objects. Means there must be one-to-one correspondence. Then and then only we can say that this is the one-to-one. So our corollary is that a function f is there with k plus 1 or more elements to a set with k elements is not one-to-one. Okay, so how we can prove this corollary? See here, suppose that for the each element y in the codomain of f, there is a box which contains all elements x of the domain of f such that f of x is equal to y. So see here in this statement there is a function f. This function f, the domain is x and codomain is y. Okay, so domain is x and also we can say that range is y. Domain is x and codomain y or range y. Because the domain contains k plus 1 or more elements and the codomain contains only k elements. So here in this statement, domain contains k plus 1 and codomain contains only k. So at such this situation, pigeonhole principle tells, or by using the pigeonhole principle, one of these boxes contains two or more elements x of the domain. Okay, so to solve this problem here we have used a pigeonhole principle, and that principle says that one of these boxes contains two or more elements x of the domain. Because there are k plus 1 elements, means domain, our domain is k plus 1 elements, only k boxes means codomain, only k boxes. So at least one box has two or more elements. So there is not one-to-one correspondence because one box has two or more elements. So here the condition of the one-to-one is not satisfied. So we can say that this means that f cannot be one-to-one. So like this way our theorem or our corollary of the pigeonhole principle is satisfied or proved. Next, see here one of the examples of the pigeonhole principle. The question is that among any group of 367 people, there must be at least two with the same birthday because there are only 366 possible birthdays. So this example uh, relate to the pigeonhole principle. What does our pigeonhole principle says? N objects, k is a positive integer, k plus 1 objects are placed into the k boxes. So here objects are what? People. Those are 367 and possible birthdays means boxes or days are 366. In a year we have 12 months and in that 12 months our days are 365, but these 365 days are in the normal year. If that year is the normal year then 365 days are okay, but if that year is the leap year then one more day. So our normal or our including the leap year our days are 366. Then in that 366 days, if the people are, we have to place that 367 people into this 366 days. So how we can map? Suppose among the 367 people, we take out the 366 people. That 366 people map with the day 366. So what about the remaining one people out of that 367? So that one remaining people can be mapped into this 366 days. So among these days, one day must contain at least two people. Understood? So by this pigeonhole principle, we can say that there must be at least two people having the same birthday. Understood? Days are 366 and people are 367. So at least 2 with the same birthday. Similarly, see the another example. In any group of 27 English words, there must be at least 2 that begin with the same letter, because there are 26 letters in the English alphabet. So this is already said that there are the this problem is solved. So group is given here, that are 27 English words, means objects are given 27, and boxes are also given, that is 26 letters. We have alphabet from A to Z, that are 26 letters. So we can say that at least 2 that begin with the same letter. How? Same, you can apply the pigeonhole principle here. Suppose we can take suppose you take 26 letters or words from the 27 group. So that 27 words you can map with the 26 letters. So what about the remaining one word? So that one word can also map one of these 26 letters. So in these letters, one letter can contain the one two letters are mapped with the same word. So we can say that there must be at least 2 that begin with the same letter. Understood? So here you can apply the pigeonhole principle, same examples. How many students must be in a class to guarantee that at least 2 students receive the same score on the final exam, if the exam is graded on a scale from 0 to 100 points? So here the question is given, how many students. In this question we have to find out the total number of the students, and at least 2 students receive the same score, and the scale is also given from 0 to 100. So here there are 1 to 100 means 100 score or 100 scale, but one of the student can get the 0 score also, so that we have to consider also, and by considering that 0 score, our total score is 101 possible scores on the final. Now apply here pigeonhole principle. By using the pigeonhole principle, we can say that among any 102 students, there must be at least 2 students with the same score. See here, their score are 101. Suppose there are the 101 students are there. So that 101 students are can get the different score from 0 to 100. Means first student can get the 0, second student can get the 1, third student can get the 2. Likewise, we can apply the 101 students to the 101 possible scores. But there is, what about the second student which is remaining? What about the one student which is remaining from the 102? So that second remaining student can apply this one of this 101 possible score. Suppose that remaining student can apply or can get the 100 score. So here already 100 in the 100 score, there is one student, means one of the students already scored the 100 score, and that remaining student also scored the 100 score. So here we can say that at least 2 students with the same score, means at least 2 means more than 2 can also possible. Understood? Next, see here the generalized pigeonhole principle. The pigeonhole principle states that there must be at least 2 objects in the same box when there are more objects than the boxes. However, even more can be said when the number of objects exceeds a multiple of the number of the boxes. So here pigeonhole principle states that must be at least 2 objects in the same box when there are the more objects than boxes. But what about the number of objects exceed then the multiple of the number of the boxes? Next, see the theorem second That is the generalized pigeonhole principle. What does it says? If k is a positive integer and n objects are placed into the k boxes, then there is at least one box containing at least n divided by k objects. See here again, if k is a positive integer and n objects are placed into the k boxes, then there is at least one box containing at least n divided by the k objects. Okay. Now see here the proof of this theorem second, which is generalized principle. So this is we can prove by using the contradiction, same, which is applied for the pigeonhole principle. Suppose that none of the boxes contains more than n divided by k minus 1 objects. Then the total number of the objects is k into n divided by k minus 1. But k into n divided by k minus 1 is less than k of n divided by k plus 1 minus 1 is equal to n. So here inequalities are there, which are n divided by k is less than n divided by k plus 1 has been used. But this is a contradiction because there are a total of n objects. Understood? So this proof of the generalized principle is little bit confusing. So don't confuse here. Just see one or two examples of this general principle. Then you can understood what does the general principle says. By using this generalized principle, a common type of problem asks for the minimum number of the objects such that at least r of these objects must be in one of the k boxes when these objects are distributed among the boxes. When we have n objects, the generalized principle tells us that there must be at least r objects in one of the boxes as long as n divided by k is greater than or equal to r. So here we have to find out the smallest integer n with n divided by k is greater than or equal to r minus 1, namely n is equal to k of r minus 1 plus 1 and is the smallest integer satisfying the inequality n divided by k is greater than or equal to r. So see here, this generalized principle is used. What kind of the problem? The problem of finding the minimum number of the objects and which contains at least r objects and in one of the k boxes. So to solve such type of the problem, we have n objects, and this generalized by using this generalized principle, we have to find out the boxes, that is n divided by k, which is greater than or equal to r. R stands for the at least objects, and after that finding r objects, the smallest integer is n. So to find out the smallest integer n, we have one equation here, n is equal to k of r minus 1 plus 1. So use this equation and solve the problem of the finding the minimum number of the objects. Understood? This generalized principle is used to find out the to solve the problems of such type. So by using this, see, remember this or concentrate on these sentences because these are useful to solve the generalized principle examples. So see here, given a group of 100 people at minimum, how many people were born in the same month? Okay, so here group of people is 100 at minimum. At minimum, how many people were born in the same month? So we have to find out that minimum count. See here the solution. We have 12 months. Okay, so in that 100 divided by 12. n divided by k. So our generalized principle says that n divided by k. So n is our 100 people and k is the 12 months. That is 100 divided by 12 is equal to 8.33. It gives us the content of the each month, but we cannot have the partial people in each month because people are people, not that the case that the partial people. So we can round up here. So 100 divided by 12 is equal to 9. So we can say that the 9 people were born in the same month. At least 9 people. So more than 9 people can also born in the same month. But at least count we have to find out, and here we got that count, means 9 people, at least 9 people were born in the same month in the group of the 100 people. Next example. Among any set of 21 decimal digits, there must be 3 that are the same. So here, how we can solve this problem, or this problem is satisfied by using the pigeonhole principle, generalizer pigeonhole principle. How? See here. This follows because 21 objects are distributed into the 10 boxes. So one box must have 21 divided by 20, that is 2.1 is equal to 3. So here among any set of 21 decimal digits, there must be the 3 that are the same. So here we get the count 3 here. Next, see here another example. What is the minimum number of the students required in a discrete mathematics class to be sure that at least 6 will receive the same grade if there are the 5 possible grades are A, B, C, D and F? Okay, so question is what? We have to find out the minimum number of the students. So at least count is given also 6 and possible grades are 5, that is A, B, C, D, F. So see here the solution. We have k boxes. We have k means boxes. By using the generalized principle, k boxes is equal to 5. So k boxes are here means our grades here A, B, C, D, F. R is what? The at least count. At least count is at least 6 will receive the same grade, that is 6. And what we have to find out? N. That n count we have to find out, means minimum number of the students required in the discrete mathematics class. The minimum number of the students needed to ensure that at least 6 students receive the same grade is the smallest integer n, such that n divided by k is equal to 5 is equal to 6. So we have to find out the smallest such integer. Such smallest integer n can be find out the formula which we have seen in the previous PPT. K n is equal to k of r minus 1 plus 1. So put that value. We have k. What is that k? 5. R minus 1. R is what? 6. 6 minus 1, 5 plus 1 means 5 into 5, 25 plus 1 is equal to 26. Thus, 26 is the minimum number of the students needed to ensure that at least 6 students will receive the same grade. Okay, understood? So what we have seen in this lecture, the introduction of the pigeonhole principle, the corollary and its proof, then generalized pigeonhole principle, its proof and its different examples. Okay, so remaining part we will see in the next lecture. Okay, thank you.